Hi, guys. Fernandes Lembo on the grid. This is the hopefully back to normal edition of On the Grid, right?
Yeah, hopefully we have football on Friday. Yeah,
football?
hopefully. Yeah.
As I wrote in today's paper, I've been here 30 years.
Yeah.
Not to tout my own story, but why not? I've never seen a high school week where I had 4 games in 1 week. 2 of the games on 2 of the days were scheduled.
Right.
But rain caused the other games. A couple of games Monday night, a game Thursday night, Friday and Saturday. Kind of weird, huh?
Well, the thing is, as we said, it wasn't just Irma. I mean, as bad as Irma was, we had those.
So you read it?
No. Yeah, no, I did. I really did. It wasn't just Irma. It was the weeks before Irma that really jammed stuff up.
Right.
After the first 2 weeks, the whole thing was kind of screwed up.
Right.
And all of a sudden, Irma comes along, and those games are obviously rightfully postponed. And then the week off following Irma. So yeah, I mean, it's just been a combination of so many things. And with these district games, you got to get in. That's why we're seeing games on Tuesday, seeing games on Thursday. I mean, it's the nuttiest I've seen it. I've been here as long as you, but it's crazy.
Affecting some teams a little differently than others. Look at Sarasota. They got back to practice Friday, like all Sarasota County schools. They play Monday, look good against Northport.
Yeah.
Now they're hitting the road Thursday to play a game up in Bainbridge, Georgia on Friday.
Yeah.
And then you got the Venice Indians. They had a bye week and Braden River going up to the big game the following week. John Peacock schedules a game with Fort Myers Dunbar. They both had a scheduled game. No points for the playoffs.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, you had to have your schedules in, I think, right before week 1. But I can't blame Venice. I mean, they want to play a game. It's been, 3 weeks they played a game? And I mean, there's too much rest. There's rust. And you don't want to go into the Braden River game rusty. So I can't blame Venice for scheduling. I think good move by Coach Peacock, and it's a home game. And look, let's be honest. I mean, Venice always draws a big crowd. I mean, teams are losing revenue when they're not getting these games played. Let's not forget about that. Football is a big moneymaker for all these programs. And, I mean, you look at Manatee, for example. I mean, they thought Lakeland would be a big draw, and that game was canceled. The Braden River game, we'll see if that'll be made up. That would have been a big draw. But, yeah, so I can't blame Venice. And, like I said, good on Coach Peacock getting a home game because not only does it get his guys back, but it might make some money, too.
Now, I talked to Peacock a couple of days ago in preparation for the start, and I could tell that he was really worried about this downtime, not playing. You said the teams that come out of this break prepared going forward might have the early advantage.
Well, when was the last time we saw anyone get 3-4 weeks off? I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I don't know if an NFL team would respond well to that, and those guys are professionals. I mean, these are high school kids, other things going on. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting how the quality of football moving forward.
A lot of people made a big deal about Irma affecting the Bucks. I was up at the Bucks game last week. They had one game affected. We're talking about high school kids that had their whole season affected by the
elements. And obviously with the Bucks, the big thing being the no bye week, but 16 straight weeks. But yeah, I mean, I'm curious what these guys are doing. I mean, obviously you couldn't practice, and I remember I covered St. Stephen's on Saturday. They have a bye week on this week, and Coach Fernandes said, "No, we need to get work in. We're not going to treat it like a normal bye week. We got to get some work in before we play next week." So, yeah, it's definitely thrown a monkey wrench into this season, and we'll see how teams handle it.
Let's talk about the games Monday a little bit. We had Sarasota. Our esteemed colleague, Dennis Maffezoli, makes picks in the paper. This might have been one of the picks he was most off on. He picked Northport to really handle Sarasota very well. It happened the other way around. The Petit brothers. It looks like Brian Riles there is getting a handle on what kind of talent he has, and he's putting him in good positions to compete.
It looks like he's working with what he has. What are they now? 2-1, 3-1? I don't know. I mean, I used to know records off the top of my head. Now it's just, who knows? But yeah, no, they're playing well. I mean, obviously, we'll see what happens on Friday with the short week. But, yeah, that was a big win for them, just to go out there and win a game. And it kind of takes some pressure off the Friday game, I think. And I'm not saying you can give that game away, but, okay, we won on Monday. Friday, let's try and get out of there healthy, and then maybe next week it'll be normal. But, yeah, a good win for the Sailors.
Now, were you at the Outdoor Academy game?
I was, yeah.
I mean, it looked like to me that score was reflective of how the season hasn't been any continuity, so we got a 7-6 game on one of the comeback games.
It was really, really I mean, finally you look at a 7-6 game, the score, I was like, that was boring. It was anything but. It was a pretty interesting game. We had turnovers, penalties, that crazy play with Braden and Christian. They looked like they tied it up. Then the PAT attempt, the snap goes bad. The kicker takes it, throws it in the end zone. The kid drops it. It was just a nutty game. I'll say one thing. Both teams, they play hard. Obviously, the numbers aren't quite there for BCS, so, ODA, St. Stephen's. I mean, they play in that conference where like-sized schools. They play hard. They go to the football. I still think St. Stephen's is the best team in that division among the small school team. Hey, but ODA is 2-0 for the first time in 6 years. And
That's a good story,
Ken Summers says, hey, the head coach, maybe we're turning things around. He said in the story, this is a game we might lose a year or two ago. We won it this time, so a big win for them. And again, for a 7-6 game, it had a lot of cool twists to it. Usually 7-6 game is just boring. Punt, punt, punt. That was a pretty fun game to watch, and the weather was great too.
Yeah, usually 7-6 games. Those are the kind of games that people aren't paying attention to.
Right,
It's
3 and out, punt, 3 and out, punt, and this wasn't like that. This was just, I guess you thought the game, it reflective of a game where you can tell both teams weren't that sharp because of all the non-practicing. But it was still a fun game to watch.
Thursday we got Southeast at Bayshore.
Yeah.
Break down that one quickly.
I like Southeast. I'm not saying I'm not a fan, the word fan, but I like what they're going to do this year. I think they're going to win their district. I think they'll win a playoff game or two. I like what Rashad West is doing out there, so I think they're going to win that game.
We got 10 games on the docket for Friday.
Yeah.
I will be at Port Charlotte Booker. What game you got Friday?
Well, I think I'm going to Manatee Steinbrenner. I think that's the plan for now. We'll see if that changes. But, yeah, Manatee, again, they played one game.
One game.
And that game was a Friday-Saturday game against Palmetto. So, now they're playing a Steinbrenner team they pretty much have to beat. They have to, you got to win your district. So we'll see what happens up there.
I think we talked about the lock of the week. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, I made the pick against Palmetto. I thought it was the upset of the week.
Yeah.
Got a little confused.
Yeah.
We're back on the beam.
Right.
I'm never going to live that down. I'm never going to surpass you because I think you're going to take the real locks of the week every week.
Yeah, I'll try.
Who do you like this week for your lock?
I like Port Charlotte over Booker.
Right.
I like what Port Charlotte's doing. Jordan Ingeman, they're doing a really good job out there, and I just like them against Booker this week.
Right. You got Riverview. Mine will be Riverview at Tampa Alonzo, even though Riverview is going on the road. I like what they're doing up there. I like what Josh Smithers is doing.
Yep.
It looks like everybody's on the same page, to borrow a cliche up there. So I'm going with the Rams.
I think they're a favorite to win that district, Riverview. I like, as I said, Arthur Brantley's taken well to the offense. I know he was there before, but, they're doing some good things. I think it's a good lock.
The thing about the Sailors is I went out there yesterday just assuming they were going to fly up. They're not. They're taking a bus because apparently Bainbridge is not that far over the Florida-Georgia line.
Okay.
So they'll be going up there, have a walkthrough on Friday, play the game, and then come back the next day. Or basically that night on the bus. That's kind of rough. I mean, it's something you're looking forward to as a player, but then you get off that bus and you got to adjust in a hurry, I would think, right? When you're on a road trip like that?
Yeah, and we've seen some teams, I don't know if they're going to do it, we've seen some teams stop along the way and go to a rest stop and just get a workout in. I think Manatee did that a couple years ago when they went to Georgia, and they took a bus. I think they stopped somewhere near the Panhandle, and they just got out and moved around. You're sitting down for 3.5, 4 hours, so maybe Sarasota will do the same thing. It's interesting how coaches kind of plot those trips because they're not really easy to dissect and diagram and plot. So it's kind of cool when they do that. I
mean, in Sarasota's case, they were expecting to have a usual work week, and leading up to this game, all the hotel reservations, everything planned, and then you got to cram a game plan into basically 3 days. Yesterday wasn't a hitting practice in Sarasota. I was talking to DeBose. He says, no, just film work, and we're installing our offense and defense, but no contact.
I think Monday they got plenty of contact, so I think that takes care of it.
I think a plenty. You've had a couple other things besides football. There's more than just football going on now.
Yes. I covered Venice Manatee volleyball last night. Venice winning 3 straight.
Right.
They're a good team. They're really tough up front with Montgomery, Faulkner, Hubbard. They're a good volleyball team. Manatee without its best player, JoJo Coulter. They hope she'll be back in about a week. So that's going to be fun to watch. Those two teams always kind of go at it. It was interesting last year. Venice won the regular season match and the district championship match, and the Manatee won the regional semifinal. So, we'll see what happens. But Venice was looking pretty good last night. We talk about football programs and continuity and success year after year. Yeah. What Wheatley has going on down in Venice, it's unparalleled. And now in the spring, he's going to coach the boys team. Oh, God. So we'll see what happens with that. And the cool thing about Venice, they hadn't played in 2 weeks. I mean, as you mentioned, every sport has been hampered by the weather, not just football. And they looked really good last night. And they have the Battle at the Beach, a volleyball tournament this weekend. A lot of state champions. Plant's going to be there. Boca Raton's going to be there. So if you like volleyball, Friday and Saturday, head to Venice. It's going to be some of the best you'll see. Anything else before we wrap it up this week? Anything else? Any nuggets we're not missing or are missing? We'll see. Hopefully we'll have normal Friday, normal Thursday, and come back next week and talk about people being back on the same page. And we can have a whole episode just talking about football and nothing but football. Yep. So that's next week. So for John Lembo, I'm Doug Fernandes, and we'll see you next week on The Grid.